Almighty God, we bow before. Lord, we glorify your holy name, Kawelama. Lord, we glorify your holy name, Kawelama. Uli Kawelama, Kawelama. Uli Kawelama, Kawelama,
Thank you very much. And Takamira Naro, we're going to invite Bishop Kanye.
Thank you. Let us pray. We come before your throne this morning, Almighty Creator of heavens and earth. In your right hand, there is Jesus Christ, who came down and died for us, and he brought us back our relation to you, to God. We also come through the Holy Spirit, which you left for us to lead us during all the times in our lives in this earth. Here we are. Firstly, my God, we request your presence as these deliberations are taking place. My God, we are here. You created human beings. You created heavens and earth. You created all living creatures. As you were creating, you are reflecting and looking at what you have created. And you said, my God, this is good. Looking at seas, this is good. Looking at trees and environment, you said this is good. At the end of the day, you created human beings who are sitting here, and you gave them the authority to look after these things. We pray, my God, can you come in our hearts and behaviors as you look at what you created? Is it good? Is it good? Can you say and challenge our hearts and minds and wisdom? The people you have given responsibilities, human beings, as you look what's going on in your environment, the trees are still standing where they are. Animals are still behaving the way you say they should behave. But we pray in our hearts, bring us back to make this world, which is full of degradations. Nkosi yami, wonakele phandle la. Nkulunkulu sicela usincede. Where there's a fly, there's a human being because of dirty. Oh my God, we are dirty all over. We are doing things as a cursed generation. As we reflect, let's dialogue, not debate. That at the end of the day, the resolutions which are going to be made in this shouldn't be like all the resolutions done. Because we want resolutions which, when we have another meeting, we can say, how far did we go with the resolutions? I'm praying for all facilitators. They shouldn't talk their education here. They should listen to you, meditate to you. We pray for everybody to touch the hearts and bring back the environment as a creator in a very honest, clean way. Why? You are the way. You are the truth. You are the life of this generation with your nature. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you once again, Bishop. As we proceed with our program, we have heard a song from one of our leaders. Can we have any community voices to lead us in some singing as we put energy to our platform and as our next performers are preparing?
Jesu ikorona, Jesu ikoro.
Thank you so much for this song. We now proceed and have a performance from Iasa.
The community yithi umphakathi walapha sisuka kare phano.
like another tool, digging deep and deep down beneath. As I go deep, I feel the pain as my labor goes right down through the drain, working under the mine, mining what is not mine, working under the mine, mining what is not mine. All day long I'm at work 5 to 9. I get home tired like a dog. My romance has since become a bore. I now feel like a lonely hog. Oh my sweet Jane, I feel the pain as I go deep in labor down through the drain, working under the mine, mining what is not mine, working under the mine, mining what is not mine.
Senzenina, 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 senzenina.
Zela and Action Aid, promoting the transformation of the extractive sector through community participation.
Transition minerals can only develop Africa if we put communities first.
Impumelelo yokwenziwa kwamagugu incike kakhulu ekusebenzeni ndawonye ngokubambisana lo mphakathi wendawo ngendawo.
Zvicherwa zvinogona kusimudzira Africa kana tikashanda pamwe chete nevanhu munharaunda.
Put communities first. Umphakathi uqakathekile. Naraunda yakakosha.
Transparency, accountability, consultation, and good governance are key elements of sound management of natural resources.
Kuvimbika, kutaudzana nevanhu munharaunda, nekubata mutemo zvakanaka, kunokudza kushandiswa nekubatwa zvakanaka kwezviwanikwa munyika.
Liqiniso, ukusebenza ngokuthembeka, ukuxoxisana ngolwazi lobukhokheli obuqotho kuyinsika lempawu ezinhle zokulondoloza amagugu emvelo.
We demand transparency. We encourage consultation. Good governance is a must.
Women must also be decision makers in natural resources management, including mining.
Kunjalo, omama zimbokodo, kufanele labo bafake umbono baphiwe amathuba kwezokuphathwa kwamagugu emvelo. Vanhukadzi vakakosha ngavathenderwe kupa maonero avo pakuchengetwa kwezvisikwa kana zviwanikwa zvose zvinosanganisira kucherwa kwematombo anokosha.
Zela, the Zimbabwe Environmental Law Association.
Promoting environmental justice.
Our mission is to promote equitable, just, sustainable environmental and natural resources management.
Vavariro yedu ndeyekukurudzira kuenzaniswa nekururamiswa kwezvisikwa zvinowanikwa munyika yedu.
Injongo yethu ikukhuthaza ukusetshenziswa lokuphathwa kwezemvelo ngemfanelo langokulingana.
We also champion the protection of the marginalized communities in Zimbabwe and Southern Africa.
Tinosimudzira kuchengetedzwa kwakanaka kuvanhu muZimbabwe nekuchamhembe yeAfrica yese.
Sikhuthaza ukuvikelwa komphakathi osendaweni ezingakathuthuki eZimbabwe
laseningizimu yezwekazi lase-Afrika jikelele.
Well-managed natural resources can lead to sustainable development.
Ukuphathwa lokulondolozwa kuhle langemfanelo kwamagugu emvelo kuzala intuthuko lempumelelo.
Kubata zvakanaka kwezviwanikwa kunobatsira budiriro munyika.
Well-managed natural resources also contribute to gender equality.
Kubatwa nekugoveka kwakanaka kwezviwanikwa kunovandudza budiriro yevanhukadzi.
Limqotho amalungelo abesifazana labesilisa ayahlonitshwa abelesisindo nxa singaphatha kuhle amagugu emvelo.
ZELA and Action 8, promoting the transformation of the extractive sector through community participation. Association.
Thank you so much, IASA. Let's clap hands for them. A wonderful performance from IASA.
Indeed, a wonderful performance, Admire. Let's give them another round of applause. Let's ululate, ladies. In our African way, when we are celebrating, we ululate. Thank you. So I think at this moment in time, we have to observe protocols and officially then welcome our guests that are in this place. So let me start by welcoming representatives from the different communities Remember when we had our first conversation, we said communities first. So in light of our theme, we would like to welcome communities. So what we are going to do is we are going to announce a province. If you are coming from that community, you can rise, you can clap, you can ululate, you can do whatever it is that really shows your presence, that you are here in this space today. So we will start with our host province, those who are from Bulawayo. Let us hear that you are here. Rise and show us that you are here. Everyone is waiting for who is going to start first. Please. Our host from Bulawayo. So we only have 3. Hey, yes. Let us celebrate them. Thank you for being here this morning. Admire, where should we go from here? Should we go to the Midlands?
I think we can go to Mat South.
Yes.
I like Mat South.
Okay. Matebeleland South. Thank you, Mat South. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
And why not Mashonaland West?
Mashonaland West. Those from Mashonaland West province. There is no one
We
here.
don't have Mashonaland West.
You know, mining in Zimbabwe is happening, I think, in all provinces. Mashonaland West,
I'm surprised, but it's
because
okay.
we have gemstone miners.
It's okay. Let's go to Mashonaland East. I heard about granite mining in Mtoko. Someone was talking to me yesterday. Mashonaland East.
Mutoko. Welcome. Thank you for being here, Mashonaland East. Mashingo province. Na na de na na de. De na na. I also come from Mashingo, so that's why I'm singing with them.
But this is not a song from Mashingo. Wait and see Manikaland. I know this song, Manikaland. Do we have Manikaland in the house? You can hear the difference.
De na na, de na na de. Okay, it's a different flavor of the same dish. Where do we go, Admire, from
Which one is
Manikaland?
left? Matebeleland North.
Yes.
Do we have Mat North in the house?
Welcome, Mat North. It's gentlemen only, so they can't sing. Maybe mrogona kuridza mridzo. Yes. Thank you for being here.
And Mashonaland Central.
Let's give him a round of applause. Yeah, do whatever you want.
You are carrying the whole province.
On behalf of Mashonaland Central, I wanted to remind you that over the weekend, Real Madrid was beaten by my team Barcelona 4-0. Don't you ever forget that.
That's a nice one from Mash Central. Hararians.
Why did you say it before you said Hararians?
It's because normally these people, they overcrowd the ZAMI.
Okay, those from Harare, please don't embarrass us. Please stand up. Hararens.
Only 2 from Harare.
Please don't be shy. We know you are here. Okay. Okay, let's clap hands for them. Thank you, Hararens, for coming. We also have Midlands Province. Yes. Is that a song coming from the back? Midlands. Thank you, Midlands.
I think we are done with provinces. We can go to the specific. Is there any province which has been left out?
No, there hasn't been, but we need to now go out of the country now.
Yes, we've got our Army Steering Committee, which is with us. Can the Army Steering Committee stand up so that we acknowledge your presence?
Alternative Mining Indaba Steering Committee members. Maybe you can shout from there which countries you represent. Mozambique, welcome.
Mandla is Zimbabwe, South Africa.
Welcome, Mandla. Kenya is there.
Welcome, Kenya.
Karibu.
Tanzania. Ethiopia.
Okay.
DRC.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Army Steering Committee. We proceed to recognize government departments that are with us. As you all know, this is a multi-stakeholder platform, and during this, Zimbabwe Alternative Mining Indaba will also interact with our government stakeholders. We have different ministries, Ministry of Mines, Environment, Land. We also have departments, EMA. We have our Parliament, and as well as Ministry of Finance, among other key government ministries with us. Can we ask our stakeholders to stand up so that we can acknowledge your presence, those who are coming from different government departments and ministries?
Maybe you could also just wave. Yes. Welcome, welcome our stakeholders.
We proceed to the private sector. I am informed that we also have MMCZ amongst us. Can you wave so that we recognize your presence? Thank you. Thank you very much. Zimra, do you have anyone from Zimra here present?
Thank you, Admire. But I've just been informed. Remember when we started, I said, who thinks they came the furthest to be here? Now they are here. We have people all the way from China among us. So maybe they could wave. Hello. I believe who wants to dispute that they are the ones who came the furthest to be here today? Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm also being informed, Jawari, that there is someone from Finland. Finland is represented.
Yes.
Yes, Finland is with us as well. So we appreciate your presence. We proceed to welcome our different partners, the funding partners that are present with us. We can ask you to just wave your hand wherever you are seated so that we acknowledge your presence. Those who make this platform to happen through their financial, technical, and other muscles, can you just wave your hand so that we appreciate your presence? We don't have funding partners. Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, let's just give them a round of applause, because obviously for us to be here, resources need to come from somewhere.
Can I then also proceed to acknowledge the presence of the members from the faith community, Nyari? We have our bishops who are present here. We have our clergy, members of the clergy, as well as some lay leaders from our different faith. Can we ask you just wave your hand so that we recognize you as well wherever you are seated?
Thank
members
you.
of the clergy.
Thank you. Thank you. And we also have members from the diplomatic community, delegates from the diplomatic community, the UK Embassy and others. Please wave from wherever you are. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you so much. All protocols, I believe, have been observed. Allow me to ride on those protocols and ask the ZELA representative of the board, Dr. Makanatsa Makonese, to give us
just before that,
welcome remarks.
Nyari, I think we have not acknowledged our traditional leaders. Varidzi
How did that happen?
venzimbo nai
maoko edu ayo madzishe tinoti makadiniko mvura ngainaye pasi rive deveteve vana vanochema zhara gore rinodekwa naya zvanaka tokutendai tauya munzvimbo ino kutaura nyaya yezvicherwa dei zvabatsira nharaunda zvabatsira nyika yavandudzika. Aiwa tinokutendai maita zvakanaka.
Thank you so much. Mururi muridzo.
Now, imagine, admire. We would have missed on all that if we had just waved.
I can imagine. Nyari.
So I'd asked Dr. Makonese, yeah?
Yes, we can proceed to have Dr. Makonese. Let's clap hands for Dr. Makonese as he comes forward to give us welcome remarks.
Good morning. Salivonani. Mangwanani. I would like to welcome all of you, our esteemed guests, to this 2024 edition, which is the 13th edition as well, of the Zimbabwe Alternative Mining Indaba, which we are holding under the theme Energy Transition Minerals, Putting Communities First for Community Development. I will not go into details regarding protocol. I think Admire and Nyari have done a good job of that. So allow me to say all protocol observed. As already indicated, my name is Makanatsa Makonese. I'm a board member of the Zimbabwe Environmental Law Association. I'm speaking on behalf of the board chair, Professor Tumai Mrombo, who unfortunately was not able to be here this morning. My welcome remarks, I think, have by and large been summarized by the presentation by IASA. And I think it was a very clear depiction of the kind of challenges that we are facing as a country when it comes to the extraction of our mineral resources and the impact that the extraction might have on our communities. However, allow me to thank you for being here today and for your commitment to transforming Zimbabwe's mining sector in ways that prioritize people and communities. As already indicated, our theme is Energy Transition Minerals, Putting Communities First for Community Development. And I think this theme resonates deeply with the growing need to balance Zimbabwe's mining potential with a commitment to sustainable community-centered development. Today's Indaba comes at a pivotal time as the world and Zimbabwe navigate an era defined by an urgent shift towards a net zero economy. The push for critical minerals, including lithium, nickel, and copper, is stronger than ever, given their essential role in renewable energy technologies. Zimbabwe, endowed with significant mineral reserves, has the potential to play a leading role in this transition. However, as we are all aware, this potential must be managed responsibly, prioritizing our communities, our community development, and ensuring that our journey to becoming a key player in energy transition is one that leaves no community behind. As always, and I indicated earlier that this is the 13th edition of ZAMI, and as always, ZAMI is an opportunity to bring multiple voices to the table, voices of communities directly affected by mining, of leaders shaping mining policies, of organizations promoting responsible practices, and of young people advocating for a future in which development is sustainable and just. This year we'll discuss some of the core challenges and opportunities that we face as a country, as communities, when it comes to our mining economy. We need to dissect and discuss the issue of the energy transition and access to resources. We need to address inequality and discuss the need to curb illicit financial flows. We need to discuss responsible mining and the issue of mining-induced displacements. Again, I go back to the presentation by IASA earlier on, and that presentation clearly, I think, explained to us the kind of impacts that mining-induced displacements can have on our communities. We need to discuss the need to strengthen our legal frameworks so that we have in place clear policies and laws that can help us as a country and help our communities as we move along. We need also to discuss the issue of environmental protection. I think our prayer earlier in the day highlighted the responsibility that we have been given as human beings to ensure that the resources that have been entrusted to us by our Creator are managed in a responsible way, are managed so that at the end of the day, we do have resources still available for future generations because we have managed to look after those resources and use them responsibly. So our collective objective during this Indaba is clear. We need to work towards an inclusive, equitable, and sustainable mining industry that contributes to community development while respecting human rights and environmental integrity. In doing so, we will identify actionable insights to inform policy, improve transparency, and hold each other accountable. This year, also as part of the Indaba, we have a side session that is going to be focusing on environmental, social, and governance issues. In recent years, as we know, ESG principles have emerged as a foundational framework for sustainable development in the mining sector. It is encouraging to see Zimbabwean mining companies responding to global and local pressures by implementing ESG reporting. Furthermore, we have seen the government showing dedication by launching a responsible mining audit and banning riverbed mining, underscoring its commitment to environmental stewardship and community well-being. Our ESG side session will focus on critical issues, including water quality and rights, responsible environmental practices, health and social impacts on mining communities, and equitable economic benefits. These discussions will allow us to review the achievements and lessons of the National Development Strategy 1 and identify areas where our National Development Strategy 2 can further strengthen sustainable governance. And in this regard, I would like to give special thanks to the Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office of the UK. We have provided us with resources through DAI to support the ESG side session. So let this 13th edition of the Zimbabwe Mining Alternative Indaba serve as a platform for learning, a platform for sharing, and a platform for collective action. Through our voices and insights, we will explore ways to ensure that mineral wealth not only fuels national progress, but also contributes directly to the development of communities that sustain this industry. Your commitment to these issues will help in advancing policies that reflect the needs and aspirations of the people of Zimbabwe. Thank you once again for being here and for your commitment to sustainable mineral governance. Let us work together today and always towards a future where Zimbabwe's natural resources are managed with integrity for the benefit of all its citizens. I look forward to the engaging and fruitful discussions that we are going to have and overall a successful 13th edition of ZAMI. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ma'am, for those welcome remarks. Let's acknowledge your presentation. Let's applaud there. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. So she has set the tone once again on why we are here. Some of the developments that are happening in our mining sector, but what we need to continue reflecting as we try to promote just energy transition. So to further anchor our alternative mining Indaba, we have the next part of our program as the theological reflections. I'm sure many of you will have been attending different alternative mining Indabas at different spaces, whether it's at local level, it's at district or provincial. You now understand what we mean by theological reflections. What does the Bible say about the management of our natural resources? So to help us to have that understanding, we invite the president of the Zimbabwe Council of Churches, Bishop Dr. Ignatius Makumbe, to come forward and take us through the theological reflection session.
I'll firstly introduce to you today the president of Zimbabwe Council of Churches, Bishop Ignatius Makumbe, presenting 31 denominational bishops in Zimbabwe mainline churches, also presenting the advisory board of Zimbabwe Council of Churches, also representing ecumenical fellowships, women and men, to come to us on a busy schedule to address all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop Kanye. Let me say all protocols observed. And it's very pleasing to see that even our chiefs, because they are concerned with the communities in Zimbabwe, and they are with us today. I am so touched with that, and it's great. Let me start by saying that I agree with the notion, if you don't manage well what you have, you are going to lose it. Even if you mismanage your marriage, you are going to lose it. You must mismanage anything. And I think ZAMI is as a result of us realizing that we have got management issues with us as a nation, as communities. And this year's theme is very critical, that we are saying putting communities first for community development. That's, I think it was thoughtfully put across, that as we discuss today and the days to come, we don't lose focus that we should put communities first, and then all other things are going to happen. In my reflections, I'm going to punctuate my thought processes with reference to Bible verses, because God is the one who created all of us. All those things we see, and with those which we don't see, they were created by God. I start off from Psalms 25, verse 8, where it simply says, God is fair and just. You know, at church we say you become what you believe. If you really believe in God, you are going to become like him. You are going to be fair, you are going to be just, which is a yawning gap in our communities. Demonstrates that God desires justice and righteousness as an important quality to the life of a person. And these qualities must guide the thought processes of human actions and relationships. However, the just energy transition has been riddled with inequalities, unfairness, and injustice across the world. Globally, the chief cause of climate change is our mismanagement of our resources, mismanagement of what God has created. Countries where transition resources are found, they are still in the second industrial revolution, while countries instigating energy transition are well beyond the fifth industrial revolution. One would ponder and wonder if God were pleased with the notion that these developed countries are pushing on developing countries transition from fossil fuels to green fuels, where they are yet to satisfy their energy requirements. In Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17, it demonstrates that God is not pleased with injustice, as it says, "Learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, plead with widows' cause." This scripture is mandating us as civil society organizations, faith-based organizations, government stakeholders, mining communities, and miners themselves to advocate for justice in the extraction of our natural resources. The concept of just energy transition still needs to be explored in Zimbabwe, considering that the country has got vast deposits of coal and copper, which are yet to be harnessed for the benefit of all Zimbabweans, improving their accessibility and especially to electrical energy. This is also in line with 1 Chronicles chapter 29 verse 11, that all that is in heaven and on earth is yours. We must claim what is ours because God has been gracious to us to give us these resources. In light of this, the notion of just energy transition should be treated with caution. The critical question we should ask is, who needs the transition? Are Zimbabweans aware of this transition when they are still using firewood as source of energy? Are we ready for an energy transition without addressing the critical energy gaps? Thus, we should question, is this a new colonial agenda? Just energy transition should respect the rights of mining communities and also pay repatriation to people displaced to pave way for the transition resources mining. However, what is happening in lithium-rich communities is a clear example of unjust resource extraction, as communities are being displaced without being offered alternative accommodation or any reprieve of some sort. The practices prevailing in transition mining areas is contrary to the United Nations framework of 2024 governing the extraction of critical transition minerals, as the energy transition is supposed to be just throughout the energy transition value chain. Zimbabwe is ranked number 7 in the world in terms of lithium deposits. However, the presence of such critical resource is yet to translate into an improvement of the economy, with lithium mining companies being well documented for labor malpractices. And looks like either we are clueless or we don't care. With how mining companies are lobbying for tax exemption, tax holidays, tax relief, while they continue to mine transition resources, one would wonder how they intend the country and the mining community in particular to benefit from such transitional resources. In earnest, there cannot be any just energy transition that disrespects property rights, evades tax payments, declare profits, among other evils. In our view as church, just energy transition should be viewed in the context where it addresses social inequalities, be innovative enough to better the lives of women who are burdened by unpaid care work and other socially marginalized groups such as persons living with disabilities. The damage being done to the environment has more impacts on women and girls. Thus, there is need to strike the balance between just energy transition and beneficiation of women, girls, and people living with disabilities. In Corinthians chapter 9, verse 11, in God's economy, it says, other people are equipped more than others, so that those who have got more are going to help those with less. But this is not the practice we have. May I say to you, my colleagues, as we shall engage our minds to search for solutions which are going to be solutions to a community, to our nation, let us remember that if you don't manage what you have, you will soon lose it. Just energy minerals are a blessing to Zimbabwe. They should be utilized in a way which, when we look back, there are people who have been historically oppressed. Can that be reversed willingly by clear thinking and fear of the Lord? With these reflections, colleagues, I wish you all fruitful deliberations during this ZAMI 2024. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Bishop. Let's clap hands for him as he takes his seat.
Maybe, Admire, you can quickly summarize the key points that came out of Bishop's remarks.
Thank you, Nyari. I think for some this was quite deep, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yes, so what the Bishop was saying is that, one, natural resources, including mineral resources, they are God-given resources. That's the first point that the Bishop mentioned. These are God-given resources. The second point is that if these resources are managed well, they lead to transformation of people's lives. But if they are not managed well, they lead to poverty, inequality, and other vices, including land degradation. So, in simple terms, the Bishop is saying, let's provide stewardship, good stewardship to our mineral resources. Let's manage them well, extracting the resources, ensuring that they replenish themselves, but we also extract good use of the same resources.
Thanks, Admire. I was beginning to fear you are also making another presentation. Thank you for summarizing. But obviously, you know, when we look at these things, we can also look at them and understand them if they are expressed, all these issues, in various ways. So, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Mr. Albert Nyati himself. He's here. Come through, come through. Let's show some enthusiasm and expectation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Salibonani. Linjani. Twalumba. Yeah, Twalumba loko. Ladies and gentlemen, I observe protocol. Thank you. In 1980, our population was 7 million. And I think now we are 15, 16 million. I think Nigeria may have been less than 100 million. Today they are 260, almost 300 million. And that goes with all other countries, ladies and gentlemen. From my experience, the earth has never grown. It remains where it was in 1980 or many years before. I don't know how many years before. So, my worry is how we treat the earth. Deep down in the belly of the earth, there lies our problem and yet our solution. Some of us leaving the earth wounded as we seek our fortune. These wounds are not easy to heal. These wounds may take forever to heal. It takes decades to grow a tree to maturity. And yet, it takes a split of a second to destroy the same tree. Future generations should not suffer because of our greed. So, as we seek fortunes from the belly of the earth, from the stomach of the earth, let's not forget to do land reclamation, land replenishing, land rehabilitation, and afforestation. Deep down in the belly of this earth, the lungs of the earth are not happy either. How is Mother Earth going to breathe when we puncture her lungs virtually every day, endlessly, with no due care? All we do is dig, take, and not plow back. We are not even planting the trees we destroy. We are not mending the land we injure every day. If we are not careful, we may be happy and unhappy at the same time. We can't sustain future generations without land reclamation and land replenishing and land rehabilitation, afforestation. Miners, do not bite the nipple whose breast you feed upon. That is where your nourishment comes from. And yet again, mining can make the nation bloom and blossom. Mining can make all of us live a better life. Mining can be a solution to our problems, but let not mining be our problem. Let not mining be our headache. Let mining resolve our hunger problems and quench our thirst. Another mic. Mining is an eyesore as I walk around. How do we become proud of an earth with endless wounds? Endless wounds, yeah, that we create with our own hands, witnessing cows and goats and sheep and donkeys with broken limbs, some even rotting in pit holes that we create. Mining should empower communities and not take away their livelihood. And yet again, it is not all gloom, ladies and gentlemen. Mining can grow our economy. Mining can feed the entire nation. Mining can make us a better nation. Mining can create better communities. Action Aid and Zela, thank you. This one is called Earth Fighting Back. I was listening carefully. Cyclone Idai, cycling at high speed unhindered, uninvited in Chimanimani and Chipinge, and taking lives of our people unnecessarily. So unnecessarily, we lost lives because we cut down trees, we burned down forests. We did not observe the circular economy concept: reduce, reuse, recycle. We watched helplessly pebbles and boulders rolling down, mercilessly crushing our souls in Chimanimani and Chipinge. We watched Cyclone Elin eliminating lives with no due care. We witnessed Cyclone destroying, devastating, and denying us of our livelihoods and our souls in Cholocho. Yes, we watched cyclones on a destruction mission unobstructed in Cholocho, Chimanimani, Chipinge, Pinga, Tokwe, Mukosi. Our greed is our downfall. It seems the earth is on a revenge mission, and the sooner we realize it, the sooner we act and rectify the situation, the better for us all. And this one is justice for trees. The trees are angry and complaining, saying, why burn us when we give you oxygen? Why burn us when we give you life? So when we are intact, standing tall, proud that we are holding the soils together, proud that we are your windbreaker, proud that we give you shade when the sun is scorching, proud that we give you food day in, day out, you shame us instead by burning us down with no shame, with no mercy, as if we mean nothing to you. And ladies and gentlemen, Umfundis was talking about the fact that girls and women are affected. Yeah, this is my last one. And for that reason, anyone with a daughter, you have daughters. Right. So these daughters, particularly in the villages, I've been all over, all districts in this country, watching children walking long distances, particularly girls, some failing to go to school because they have to fetch water. And then I wrote this poem called My Daughter, which is now a book. My daughter, when I demand that you be home before dark every day, I, my daughter, do not hate you, dear. I am merely trying to protect you from the jaws of the drooling hyenas that love to feast in the dark, from the panting leopards stalking you like ghosts almost ready to leap at you, from the hungry lions silently eyeing you, smacking their lips ready to pounce, from the jumpy monkeys leaping from tree to tree and from branch to branch with no particular base. My dear daughter, tell me, what color is the chameleon? So when I say be home before dark every day, I am merely being dutiful as a father, man. I am doing what mothers should do. It is my duty to protect you from the black mambas that hate to miss a target. They all want to win your heart, dear. And remember, the python preys on its victim by changing colors. Oh, those rainbow colors. Aren't they beautiful? Daughter, take heed. Darkness has no eyes. I thank you. So climate change is real, and I've seen its effects, particularly in mining areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nyati, for those wonderful performances, really amplifying the impacts, the environmental impacts, the devastating environmental impacts of this activity called mining, and also looking at how we might actually benefit. So it's a problem and a solution at the same time. Because of that, you know, we have our government representatives here. They shape the policies that look at the governance of these mineral resources. And it is my singular honor, ladies and gentlemen, to call to the podium Ms. B. Noko, Director, Provincial Coordination, standing in for the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution for Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, Honorable Judith Ncube. Let's give her a round of applause. Let's continue clapping for her until she gets to the podium. Let's continue clapping. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Much, Master of Ceremony.
I will read her remarks as given.
Allow me to write on the protocols already set out. I am honored to welcome you all to Bulawayo for the 13th edition of the Zimbabwe Alternative Mining Indaba. This year's Indaba is running under the theme, Just Energy Transition, putting communities first for community development. The ZAMI has become a flagship annual event in Zimbabwe, and Bulawayo is the host of most, if not all, of the 13 editions, thanks to the co-conveners, who are the Zimbabwe Council of Churches, Zimbabwe Coalition on Debt and Development, and Zimbabwe Environmental Law Association. The government appreciates the pivotal role played by the church and the civil society in amplifying citizens' voices on natural resources governance from the local, district, provincial, and up to the national level. The Indaba platform provides a platform for dialogue amongst the various stakeholders in the natural resources sector, inter alia, people from resource-rich areas like mining host communities, parliamentarians, representatives from government ministries, development partners, mining companies, NGOs, civil society organizations, faith-based organizations, and other stakeholders to deliberate on mining-related issues in Zimbabwe. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's theme is premised on a just energy transition, with much emphasis on communities, especially mining host communities, that have always been on the receiving end of the negative impacts of mining activities across the country. Hence, the realization that the communities should come first is not only timely, but essential for community development. Zimbabwe is host to many critical minerals like lithium, which are essential for the transition to cleaner energy sources. These have become vital component in energy transition that has led to the booming of solar and electric vehicles. Currently, mining accounts for more than 60% of exports and contributes around 15% to the gross domestic product, making Zimbabwe a resource-driven economy. Mining has played a pivotal role in Zimbabwean economic history by providing direct and indirect benefits towards human development. The mining sector gives the nation the impetus to achieve Vision 2030. However, government is also very cognizant of the negative impact that mining brings to the host communities and to the nation at large. If not regularized, mining can cause mental degradation, water pollution, and cause conflict among communities. Under the able leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, Zimbabwe launched the Responsible Mining Initiative in May this year. The foundation of the Responsive Mining Initiative include the need to preserve the environment, ensure fair distribution of resources and benefits such financial benefits, employment opportunities, and promote accountability and transparency. Ladies and gentlemen, you will all agree with me that concerted efforts have since been made to ensure the practicability of the initiative. For example, the government immediately banned riverbed mining in August this year. This decision is aimed at addressing concerns over environmental degradation caused by mining activities, including water pollution and disruption of river ecosystems. Law enforcement agencies are already enforcing this across the length and breadth of Zimbabwe. I urge of us to leverage this week-long event to spearhead the conversations of hope, to find lasting solutions to the challenges and issues within the mining industry in our nation. It is through this platform that everyone on board will be able to articulate diverse views in a civil manner, as we all believe dialogue is our nomenclature as a people. Allow me once again to express my warm welcome to each one of you. I thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's clap hands for her as she takes over a seat. I think from her presentation, you can agree with me that she has outlined some of the initiatives that the government is taking towards promoting transformative mining. One of it is the responsible mining initiative. But of course, there have been also some initiatives around improving the taxation of the mining sector, among other things. But also, there are still issues that communities from mining areas are still laboring with that needs to be addressed. And this platform has to be a platform for solution provision. So to proceed with our program, we'll now have a session where we have to reflect on this space. We have some positive developments, but there could be some challenges relating to this Zimbabwe alternative mining space. And that's the session we are now moving to. We have got 2 colleagues here who are going to help us to unpack that session. Over to you, colleagues.
Thank you very much, Admire. And good morning, colleagues, friends. Yeah, it has been a journey. And we are happy that all of us, we are here. And from the start of this journey, I can see that we've got quite a number of familiar faces and new faces, which means that the Alternative Mining Indaba movement is also growing. And it also means that we share the same vision as we are gathered here today. Yeah, in a journey, it's normal that we encounter changes. In a journey, it's also very normal that we also have issues that will remain the same. So we want to talk about what has changed and also what has remained the same. This is the 13th edition of the ZAMI. We have a lot of achievements. We have a lot of changes that happened. We also have some things that have remained stagnant. What are these issues? Joyce, what are the issues that have changed so far?
Thank you, Tashinga. Hello, everyone. Makadi Salibonan. So with the journey so far, I think a lot has changed. But I think for now, I'll zero in on the issue to do with how we have managed to actually replicate the army process in Zimbabwe. I think we are one of the countries that has actually managed to have this replication process across Africa, where actually the ZAMI or the army process started as a national event, which we call the Zimbabwe Alternative Mining Indaba. But you find that we realized that, as you can see in this room, yes, we have a bit of some numbers, but not actually everyone is here. And we realized maybe we need to do what we call the provincial alternative mining indabas, where we had to have dialogues per province. And we started with the Manicaland, and then we managed to have what we call the Great Dyke Provincial Alternative Mining Indaba. But we also realized that I think the process has to go down a bit further. Then we had to go down to what we call the District Alternative Mining Indabas, where we were saying, let's have this discussion, I mean, as a district, where mining is taking place. We come together, district officials in that area, and then we discuss the issues. But we also realized that not everyone also would be able to come to the district to discuss these issues. So we had to really take it down further to what we call the ward alternative mining indabas. So we had to say, okay, let's our issues start here. When mining is actually taking place, where communities are residing, the companies, the communities, let's have a discussion. What are the opportunities? What are the challenges with regards to issues of mining? And then how best can we address some of the challenges, and then we come up with solutions together. So now it became a process from the ward going up to the national level, and then also to the regional level, and then it becomes now what we call an process. So actually, this ZAMI is not just an event, but it's actually a process which actually starts from the grassroots going up, and then to the district, provincial, national, and then to the regional level, and then we take it down back to the community again. So this is how we've managed actually to replicate, but you also find that the growth didn't only end with discussing issues on mining, but it is actually expanding to issues of natural resource governance beyond just mining, but there are a number of natural resource management and governance issues that has actually been tackled by the process. So this is how actually the space has managed to grow and even go beyond mining communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. Just to add, Joyce, you know what I've also realized is that long back, this concept around natural resource governance, environmental governance, and so forth, it was like something that was above which was detached from the knowledge of the communities. But right now, there's understanding. There is citizen agents from the communities that we are working in. They now understand what their minerals are and the value that comes with their minerals. That is very commendable. I like that. And to me, what has not changed is the vision, where we want to go. Policy change, policy improvement. We have not changed that as a whole. We are gathered here because we've got the same vision, and it has not changed. We have not shifted. We need to see sanity in our mineral resource governance. We need to see our rivers bearing fresh water without being contaminated by these activities. We're also cutting jealously our environment, trying by all means necessary to stop, cutting down of trees and making our environment, ugly. So I think those are some of the issues that have not changed from our position as communities, from our position as stakeholders. What do you think, Kero, are some of the achievements, or what you think has changed?
Thank you. My name is Caroline from the Zimbabwe Council of Churches. Despite being a safe space for us communities to dialogue on the natural resource governance issues we are experiencing in our communities, I think the space has also become a multi-stakeholder platform where we now have government, line ministries and officials also accompanying us, where we also now have mining companies also being present to listen to some of the issues that we have been experiencing. So it has enhanced the engagement process, as well as we are seeing really the space being more visible, having the church and community really there and present in their numbers. And even when Joyce was speaking about how the replication process at ward level, we have seen this as well, even at provincial level, where we have even line ministries coming there despite being here at the national level. So it has really become a multi-stakeholder engagement platform. And I guess we continue to track whether some of the issues we are pushing forward have been addressed. And that's why we are also here. And we continue with the struggle, but at least we have the key people in the space, and it's not only us communities or church alone here.
Thank you, Carol. And we also noted that, and I think it's visible, that from before, we used to do this army with about 60 people, 40 people, but let's look around. We are almost 300 people. It means a lot for us, and it means also that the ZAMI process is now a household name in Zimbabwe. It's a household process that even government looks forward to the resolutions, looks forward to the takeaways that we always produce through our communique. And there's also a lot of buy-in from different line ministries to take whatever we resolve to do during this particular and important gathering. I would like to thank you. These are some of the critical and colorful contributions that the ZAMI has brought to the table so far. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you. Let's clap hands for them. But as they wait for 2 minutes, we also wanted to hear affirmation from the plenary. Do you agree?
Not just affirmation. What if people are not agreeing?
Yes.
With what they have said.
Do you agree with what they are saying? Yes. Can we hear from you, the communities? What has changed in relation to this army?
Is it really useful? Who has attended a village alternative mining Indaba or a ward Indaba here? What has been the experience? Has it been really helpful? Tashinga said the vision has not changed about environmental protection. So I see a hand here. Let's give her the mic.
Any other hand? Yes, I see another 2 hands here.
Thank you very much. Whilst I agree that there has been change, especially when the mining companies are now trying to plow back to communities, I feel a lot more has to be done by the stakeholders, the mines themselves, the miners themselves. It's as if they are being forced to do something that they do not want. I don't know what we can do as communities to make them feel that they are obliged. They should at least be thankful that they are there, they are producing something, and feel it and do it out of the willingness of their hearts, not that they are forced and do the legal. When you go to those communities and to those mines and try to interrogate them, they'll tell you we have done 1, 2, 3, and that is just a drop in the ocean. But they will want you to feel they've done so much, and you'll feel it's like they are forced. I feel we should change that attitude. Miners should change their attitude and plow back willingly.
Thank you. I would like to partly agree with what our panelists said, but I would like to say, from my own perspective, legally has changed as compared to what hasn't changed. If we look at issues like corporate responsibility, initiatives whereby the mining companies are supposed to plow back to the community, that is not happening. For example, their trucks are causing so much environmental degradation, causing a lot of havoc for farmers. If we talk about minor-farmer conflicts, cattle falling into pits that are not filled back after they've been used, and the politicization of in the mining sector, whereby there are some privileges or some claims that you can't even have if you don't belong to a certain party. That is still happening even up to now. Mining companies are not being enforced really to plow back into the community, to fix the environment that they would have damaged. So to me, that hasn't been changed. And also, we are having problems with other nations that are coming to mine in Zimbabwe, particularly, if I am allowed to say it, the Chinese. There is so much that they are doing. They're taking so much than they are bringing on the table. They are not fixing the roads, the environment, the damages that they would have caused. And there's been so much outcry from the workers. Some of them, they go to work without enough safety equipment. I think that's an issue that needs to be fixed. Even the wages or the salaries that they are given, they are not being given enough. And lastly, I do not know where they are. If they were banking, banking their money in Zimbabwe, I think our economy would be far much better than where it is right now. But I don't have much knowledge on this one. But I don't think they are banking their monies in Zimbabwe, yet they are taking their raw materials, they are doing their production here in Zimbabwe, and we are supposed to benefit from that. But only China, for example, I'm just using China, I think there are many other countries, but in my central, China is a very, very dominant, companies that are plying their trade there, and I can only speak on what I have seen that side.
Limvumele ngazathi ngifaka ngesintu ngivele kubi ngingumhlali webubi ngiyathaba ngoba lokho kukhulunywa eZimbabwe Council of Churches kuyikho ukuthi baxoxisana lezakhamuzi kodwa kukhona okunye okungahambi ngendlela eqondileyo konke sikukhulumayo okukuthi thina njengabahlali bezigaba ngezigaba ezitshiyeneyo unengo okungenzakaliyo sikukhulumayo. Oqala sizathanda ukuthi nxa sithe sahlangana nalaba abama-companies babuye emhlanganweni kube nama-stakeholders nama-duty bearers sixoxisane. Abamamines baza kutshela ikakhulu abasebenzi baza kutshela ukuthi hayi thina siyanika laba be-local government imali yibo abangalitshela ukuthi iya ngaphi. Nxa sokuthe kwaba njalo sesibuza bona be-local akula mpendulo esiyitholayo. So kwesinye isikhathi singahlasela ama-China sihlasele abamamines thina kuyitho esigangileyo yitho esiletha ububi ebubini sivele bubi asifuni bubi kodwa yitho esikwenzayo. Kumele kube le-clarification both sides ngoba izithi nxa sibuya sisenza ama-engagement sifuna ama-positive results from both sides. Nxa sokuthe lina ama-councillors for instance bakhona la nanka ama-councillor kuthiwa yini eliphiwa imali ukuthi lincedise ku-community development. Ama-councillor bayalampendulo so kodwa imali bayithethe. So siyangaphi ngakho uhambe uye kuma-stakeholders lese kuma-DS offices ngibona ngale bazazithulela bethi hayi imali iyaphuma. And then kuningi esingakhuluma ngakho okwenzakala ku-community ngoba sithola isenzima. Kulama-claims amaningi avelayo ungahamba ngibona ngale abantu aba-involved lese kulama-big companies oKhazimanda zonke lezi lana big companies that are contributing ngendlela abenelisa ngayo currently. But kwakhona ama-small scale miners sikhona thina ama-tsheketsha lathi sinje siyatsheketsha ngibona ngayo. But okwenzakalayo ukuthi singathi sibona thina ama-claims sifike sithi namhlanje ibhobokile ku-ward level ku-village enje uzathola ukuthi kubuya i-truck igcwele amapholisa lawa agqoka black boot i-community yaxotshwa. Uya kwamanye amawadi uzathola ukuthi umthetho wakhona lokhu ufanayo. So mina okungibona ngazathi okunzima kithi ukuthi thina yitho esenza ububi njalo izinto zonke has been politicized.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Can I ask that we try to be brief with our submissions for the purpose of managing our time?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Presenter. Yeah, myself, I come from Manicaland, ku Diamond area. So the question is, panere shanduko kubva kuma indaba iwaya arikuitwa ne Zimbabwe Environmental Law Association pamwechete na Action Aid. Myself, I can say, representing the community I came from, I can say, panishanduko hombe yavepo. Why? I can give for example, ku Chiazo kana Kumarange, the community used to use my demonstration, panyadze engagement. And I think everyone here, akambo erenga, my communities, achita appraised against the company. So through the interaction, ma indabas at village levels, ma indabas at provincial level, then ma indabas at the national level, like this one, I think we are now able now as my communities to engage my mining companies, to have dialogues with my mining companies. And I can say from where I'm coming from, we have mining companies that are now coming up with my consultation process involving my communities, and the communities are also even, like for example I can say it in Shona Guti, my issues my development my mining companies under CSR, the communities are involved. My schools they are being built, my roads they are being constructed with the involvement of the community. So panyaye engagement from the Indabas, I think there's a very big change to see our Mukana. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Indonzi Council Mshekwa ndinobva kubhikita kumasvingo province. Nigati ma benefits that we get from my India, from my ward, my district. I think pani chakawanzika chatakakwanisa kuzoziva chekuti when the EIA process happens, it is not the duty of the EMA to enforce the proposals zakabva community. If the community was proposing kuti tiri kukombera kuisirwa clinic, tiri kukombera kuisirwa road, zvataura iri nhaurirano ye-community ne-EIA consultants on behalf of the company. At the end of the day, we discovered kuti unozoona community isingaitirwi zvinhu izvozvo zvokuisirwa chipatara, maroads, etc. Why? Because the EMA that does not have the power to enforce nhaurirano yakaitwa during the EIA process. So it's some of the things that ndakafungidzira kuti as we move forward, EMA Act should be amended. Then also tine nyaya mukuita these programs takaona kuti patakaita district India yedu, we discovered kuti tichita neve action aid, we discovered kuti pane ma-issues akaita se-mining act. It's another act which need to be also amended, and I'm sure that the issues before the parliament right now, as we speak right now, it's another act yandiri kushuwa kuti yandiri kuvimba kuti iri ku disadvantage ma communities. Then also tinema issues to do with the lithium policy. We discovered that as a country we don't have the lithium policy. So in some of the areas that I think as we move forward, takabatsirika nemainda. I thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I come from Mat South, most precisely at Manjiwongola, Wat 11, where probably the second largest lithium processing plant is staged, and there is lithium mining which is happening there at Likwanda Lithium Mining Company. In line with the question that has been asked, we are so much worried since nothing has happened there, in line with the responding to what our mining Indaba is advocating for. We as a community, we are suffering in the hands of the Chinese mining company, which is taking away or taking out all our resources to no benefit to us. A lot of harm is being done there, environmentally, infrastructurally. A lot is being taken away from our communities, and we're gaining nothing, completely nothing. There is even no drop that is being deposited in the ocean there. We are really suffering. Thank you.
Yeah, I disagree nevanga vachitaura kumberi kwavo, because maningira akaitiwa sekushurugwi ndakamaita ose kubva kuwadhi kusvika nhasi patiri pano, asi kuti zviri kuitika kushurugwika hazvienderani nezviri kutaurwa pano, nenyaya yekuti kana pane vanombofamba nekushurugwi bote rekwa riri kupera. ende riri kutopera ende richasara pane desert. Saka hatingati isusu zviri kubatsira bhozi since maningi mameeting anoramba achitiwa ka. Asi chiri kubatsira chiri kuchinja kuti maChina amisiwe ka hapana. Saka toti hapana zvatiri kuita. Bhozi maChinese ose waizvo zvari kungoramba chimaina achitora makomo achipera handiti. Asi isu techiti panapa pane zvinhu zviri kuti zviri kugadzirwa. Chimwe chatoda kuti chigadzirwe chitwe zvakanaka. Pakadanwa misangano yakaita saiyo ema haiwanikwi. Pakadanwa misangano yakaita saiyo Minister of Mines havauyi. Saka isusu techizokwanisa kuti taure nani tivaudze vanzwe zvichemo zvedu. Vakavapo yekuti hanzi panoitwa zvekuti AI inobuda payaka. Zvinoitiwa pasina vanhu vanofanira kunge vari vanofanira kunge vachimirira izvozvo. Zvakaita vanhu mugarura vakaitaka vanouya nevanhu vepolitics. Zvinhu zvikangopinda politics mukati vanhu vanotya kutaura, vanotyira upenyu hwavo. Saka zvadaro vanhu vanodaniwa papa havazi vanhu vemucommunity, vanhu vanobviwa navo votaura. Kana muchida kuuya kucommunity kasi kushurugwi motivhunza tokubatsirai kuti ava neava ndo vanokwanisa kunge vachitaura nezveshurugwi community. Bhozi mukangouya nevanhu vamabva navo muchataura iko zvinoso panapa ka. I think ndaona papana vanhu kushurugwa vanenge vaviri, but ndokune gomo riri kuperera kudarika dzimwe nzvimbo dzemuZimbabwe dzose. Saka zvazvadii kuti vekushurugwa vana vawande, voice ravo rinzikwe. Tinange tese kushurugwi tinoona shurugwi kupera sei. So next time I think kuti ngatibatsane tose se vanokwanisa kutimirira semi handiti. Mouya kushurugwi tora nyaya dzekushurugwi kuti maChinese ari kuchera mushurugwi ambomisiwa pozva kuita zvisi pamutemo.
Thank you very much. I think we'll end here, being mindful that our ZAMI is going to be with us for the next 3.5 days, isn't it?
Yes, Admire. We are very mindful of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from the floor. So, obviously, I think you have your work cut out for you.
Just concluding remarks from the panel.
From the panel, what do you think?
Thank you, Nyari, and thank you so much for the feedback. We take it as it is, and for us also it's a point of learning, but bearing in mind that I mentioned it's a process. We are not yet there, but there are some of the achievements that we have actually stated in terms of how this process has grown. But in terms also of some of the successes, in terms of what the communities and other stakeholders have been talking about, we have a session on Friday, which is going to dive deeper into some of these successes. And I would also want to say that they actually differ also from one area to another. And some areas are actually experiencing more in terms of what has been happening because like they've grown with the process and a lot has been invested in their communities and some achievements are there. Some communities are lagging behind, but we are going to have a session where we'll discuss more on these issues on Friday, and then we can discuss more on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Comrades, these are very genuine issues that you've raised, very important, and the struggle is real. Forward ever and backward never. It's a struggle, and we proceed with it. This is the 13th, but maybe on the 14th they will be talking a different language. On the 15th, going forward. So we remain, strong and resolute. Thank you.
Thank you. There were really critical issues that were brought up, but as my previous colleagues have spoken, that we continue to push. We continue with the work. It's not the end. The fight really has to continue until our voices are heard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Those conversations should also still continue to happen for us to improve the space.
Indeed, Admire. By the time we get here, the alternative mining Indaba itself is a process. So when we issue a declaration like we did last year, and say, us gathered here, these are the key issues that we have seen, and these are the advocacy priorities that we are setting out. We also have a responsibility to take up. If we say we want companies to invest more in corporate social responsibility, what are we doing to hold them accountable? And to say to them, you are taking 10 years to build a clinic, a clinic with just one block, and you keep saying we are helping the community. And every year you are collecting billions. What are we also doing to have those kind of conversations as the community with those mining companies? So I'm glad to say there are people who did something or who are doing something. And for the first time this year, we have Army Process Awards. They are going to receive an award in recognition of their efforts. Isn't this exciting, colleagues? Yes, it's very exciting. So I'm now handing over to my colleague, Manele Mpofu. Manele, we call him the man with the voice for radio. You will hear for yourself.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I think Nyari has put too much pressure on me, but yeah, I'll try to live up to the expectations. As has been highlighted, we want to recognize, I think, some of the individuals who have been working tirelessly in their communities with regards to advancing natural resources management. And to assist me with that honor today, I have Mr. Odzonge, part of the board with the Zimbabwe Environmental Law Association. So I think we can just get right into it. First of all, just to acknowledge, to recognize the outstanding service as an environmental human rights defender. Our first award goes to Mr. Leonard Mabasa. Mr. Leonard. Okay, apologies, I'm just getting my certificates here. Can I get them? Mr. Leonard Mabasa. Thank you so much. Secondly, this one is for the outstanding work that is there in promoting responsible mining, in particular when it comes to artisanal small-scale mining sector. And this award goes to an organization by the name ZIMSHEC. And also, I think in line with our work, the importance is placed on leaving no one behind. And we also realize in terms of the work that is done by persons with disability. Unfortunately, he could not be with us here today, but he's got a representative who will collect the certificate on his behalf. And this one, in terms of the outstanding work in advocating for inclusion of persons with disabilities in the mining sector, this award goes to Mr. Christopher Maposa from Vishavani. Thank you so much. Additionally, we recognize as well in terms of the youth component and the work that they do, because mostly when it's spoken about, they are deemed to be the future of our planet. So with regards to that, for the outstanding work that they've been doing, all the way from Hot Springs in Chimanimani, this award goes to Mr. Keith Marera. Furthermore, the fourth estate, sometimes as they refer to as, when we recognize our journalists, the ones who put out the stories in terms of what is happening in our day-to-day lives. So for the outstanding work as an environmental journalist, this award goes to Senzeni Ngube. And then furthermore, we've lost some people along the way. We have been quite instrumental when it comes to natural resources governance or natural resources management. And these awards are also just to recognize in terms of their efforts and in terms of their work with advancing natural resources management. So we do recognize posthumously Lungile Masugu, who was one of the environmental human rights defenders that was based in Gwanda, in the Gwanda area. No. And secondly, from the youth, Zela Youth Network, as well as the other outstanding work that she was doing, we do recognize Miss Petile Moyo, who also passed on, but she was very instrumental in terms of advancing the youth voice when it comes to environmental management. And then lastly, but definitely not the least, I would like to call upon, I think, one of our youngest participants or recipients of awards. She is being recognized for the outstanding work that she is doing as a member of an environmental club at Nenowe Primary School. So at this moment in time, I'd like to call upon Miss Chelsea Mahesi. Plus, she's made a special request just to give us a small poem. Yeah, so I'll give it over to you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chelsea Mayes. I am grade 3 learner at Nenowa Primary School. Today I'm going to recite my poem about climate change titled Burning Earth. Flames that warmed now scorch the ground. Heat waves rage, no shade is found. Raging fires in every land. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'll give it back to Nyari.
Let's give them a round of applause. I think it would also be just interesting to hear from them some of the challenges they face and what courage it really takes, particularly for the environmental defenders, community monitors, and the young people, persons with disability, to do this work in the communities. So this is the first edition. So just to also motivate us, these are not just empty certificates. They are carrying something at the... Yes, it's not just a certificate, you see? So there is some benefit there that we hope is going to help to make it easier for them as they volunteer to do this very important work. So we have done a miracle, Admire. I don't know where you are, but for the first time we are on time. And we will have just one performance from IASA. Okay, all right, okay.
Not that time. No, the only thing I wanted to understand, I appreciate very much these awards. They motivate people to move forward. What I only wanted to understand, what criteria do you use for people to come to that kind of getting the awards so that they work harder? This is my because a lot of people are doing work, but I need to know how do you assess for me also as a bishop to get that award.
Thank you. So a very important question from Bishop around how do we assess, how did we come up with the winners and so forth. Awards committee, can someone respond to that? Shali, do you want to take it? I can't find Joyce, is she close by?
If the team is not here, we can shelve it and deal with it at some point.
Yeah.
Is that fine, Bishop?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, we'll ask the team that is dealing with that to help us to address that that question. I think it's a key, transparent question. We really understand where you are coming from. So we have a performance. Is IASA ready to give us another? Yes, over to IASA.